Good afternoon. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. We are live with a tornado warning now across portions of, areas we covered yesterday. This is going to be a tornado warning for portions of Cass and Marion counties here in Northeast Texas. We were just talking about this yesterday afternoon. Apparently, y'all are the hot spots, so sorry. This is going to be a possible tornado crossing Highway 43, extremely close to where the storm yesterday tracked. We're going to switch over from the how hard it's raining mode to the which way the wind's blowing mode. And you can see that velocity couplet right here, just in southern portions of Cass County. If you're in northern Marion County, you're clear from this storm. Smithland, Lodi, Jefferson, you're clear. This is going to be crossing Highway 43 now, a couple miles southwest of McLeod, south of Bivens. So if you are in McLeod, up towards east of Atlanta, you need to take your tornado safety precautions. That'll be lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Here's where that tornado warning polygon covers. Again, this is going to be southern portions and eastern portions of Cass County here in the Ark-La-Tex and Northeast Texas. This is going to be crossing Highway 43 now. Eventually, this is going to be crossing, and we mentioned these roads yesterday, County Road 4346. It's going to be crossing Highway 77 east of the city of Atlanta, and everywhere in between. So if you're east of Highway 43, up to Highway 77 here in eastern Cass County in the Ark-La-Tex. This is going to be south of Texarkana, northeast of Jefferson, north of Uncertain, southeast of the city of Atlanta, Texas. You need to take your tornado safety precautions. I hate to say it, but y'all might as well get used to doing this. We're going to be doing it more today, more tomorrow, more Saturday, as a 3-day series of severe weather outbreaks looks to unfold, with today being, day 1, or if you prefer yesterday being day 1, today's day 2 of 4. It's going to be a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado across southeastern Cass County. We want you to move to your lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. It's going to include Boogie Street once again, County Road 4557, 4346, 4342 here in Cass County, 4370. And we want folks that are on Highway 77 from east of the city of Atlanta all the way down to the Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas state lines to go ahead and move to a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible if you are in a sturdy site-built structure. If you're not, we want you to go ahead and, first off, consider moving. All right, I'm trying to see if this is live on YouTube. It is. Very good. Make sure we've got that set up to ingest into the website. It should. So what we're going to be doing is severe weather coverage. We've got a tornado warning now for Cass County in eastern, southeastern portions of the Ark-La-Tex here in Northeast Texas. We were covering these same areas yesterday. So if you are southeast of the city of Atlanta, we want you to be in a safe place, lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This storm is going to be moving off to the northeast towards the Ark-La-Tex state line, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas. It's going to be moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. Those of you on Highway 77, southeast of the city of Atlanta, you may be getting hail right now. We could have $50 to ping pong ball size hail with that hail core about to cross over County Road 4670 near Highway 77, southeast of the city of Atlanta, Texas. When I say Atlanta, I mean Texas, not Atlanta, Louisiana, or Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to be talking about Atlanta, Texas. So, this is going to be one of those situations just like yesterday where if we had storms fire out here, we knew they were going to have a high chance of being severe and tornadic. Lo and behold, that is exactly what we are doing. So let's zoom out. You can see we have some other mini supercells, what they're called, developing back south along Highway 59. This storm northeast of Jefferson, as small as it looks, guess what? It has rotation with it. Same thing with this shower southwest of the city of Jefferson. The overall kinematic environment, the strong winds and the low levels of the atmosphere strongly support the possibility of severe weather, including a tornado threat, with any of these storms in the Ark-La-Tex this afternoon and evening that can establish themselves. Notice everywhere else right now, we just have little showers. That's what we want it to stay as, because if they evolve into storms like this little guy up here in Cass County, they go into rotation, strong low-level rotation, and then voila, boom, ba boom, we get tornado warnings, and then we all have to go sad and hear the sirens go boom, boom. So it's going to be a tornado warning for southeastern Cass County. Again, if you are northeast of Lodi, north of Smithland, north of Gray, near McLeod, east of Bivens, southeast of Atlanta, Bloomberg, Texas, Doddridge, whatever, and Kabla on Interstate 49 here up in Miller County, Arkansas, northwest of Ida up here in northern portions of Caddo Parish, Louisiana. We want you to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This is the which way the wind's blowing mode. You can see we have winds moving away from the radar in Shreveport at about, let's just say at this point, 40 miles an hour. Green's moving towards the radar about 30 miles an hour. So we have 70 knots of gate-to-gate shear. I'm going to show you something here I haven't really shown before, but this is what I use off-screen. This is a product that shows the raw radar data without any of the cute display features you're accustomed to seeing. You can see very strong rotation right now with this circulation. And here's that data showing again, well-defined hook echo. So, in case you wanted some behind-the-scenes look, there you go. That's how I'm able to maintain situational awareness of what's going on and do my own little super-duper analysis. Because I'm a nerd. So, let's make sure, for one, we've got this on the website and mobile app. But again, you can see very strong rotation with this thunderstorm. Back to the how hard it's raining mode. I'll go ahead and put a loop on this. I may or may not break the program by doing that, but that's okay. At least give you an idea of what's going on here. And again, we're going to have to watch for any other thunderstorms that do acquire storm characteristics out here in northeast Texas and east Texas this afternoon, as they will most definitely have the potential of going tornadic with the threat of large hail, damaging winds, and even the possibility of tornadoes. So, we're here because we have a tornado warning for southeastern and eastern Cass County until 4:30 p.m. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is southeast of the city of Atlanta, east of Highway 43. Now, if you're along and west of Highway 43, you're clear from this storm. We may have more later. This storm is well north of Highway 49 and is going to be crossing over Highway 77 very near the border of Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. So this is a tornado warning, meaning you need to take your tornado safety precautions if you were east and southeast of the city of Atlanta, in Bloomberg, east of Queen City. If you're along and west of Highway 43, you are clear from this. You do not need to take action at this time. You only need to take action if you're in the path of this dangerous thunderstorm. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. All right, I'm going to set the storm motion vector here. It's going to be 216 at 33 knots. That'll allow me to pause this and show you the which way the wind is blowing mode. And you can see this thing's got a circulation that's quite easily discernible here. Now, it is not significantly strong in the sense that, spaghetti-o, we have big, bad, very mad tornado down, but it is certainly quite easy to see why we have a tornado warning here. I'm going to draw what's going on. We got winds moving away from the radar in Shreveport in the red, winds moving towards the radar in green. In that little couplet, as we call it, your mesocyclone, your circulation, we have winds moving away from the radar at about 38 to 40 miles an hour. We have winds moving towards the radar about 20. So 50 to 60 mile an hour shear. That's not super duper strong, but it is certainly indicative that, we have something trying to dangle the ground here. We have something trying to say hi to the treetops. So we want folks to be in a safe place. County Road 4346, Boogie Street, County Road 4557 here in Cass County, in southeastern portions of Cass County. That's going to be east of Atlanta, southeast of Queen City, including the community of Bloomberg. This is going to include Interstate 49 in southwestern Arkansas, Doddridge, Kabla. There, Interstate 49, the former Highway 71, you're going to need to take your tornado safety precautions. That'll be lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes if you got them handy. If not, that's okay. Just get into shelter. We want you to be in a safe place. Alright, why is this coverage not ingesting in the app? Noted, I'll take care of that later. I don't know how long we're going to be doing this coverage for right now, so I'll just leave it be. But again, this is going to be a thunderstorm that's going to be moving up into Arkansas very shortly. We do note, looking back out at things, I'm going to turn watches on. Yellow box here. We have a tornado watch across the Ark-La-Tex, Northeast Texas, through 10 p.m. this evening. So we're going to be watching for any other thunderstorms that can form along this Highway 59 corridor over the next several hours, as they, too, have the potential to go tornadic and acquire low-level rotation. So, 4:02 p.m. Hi, I'm Texas Storm Chaser's Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. In the midst of a multi-day severe weather threat across the state of Texas, we have a tornado warning for southeastern Cass County. That is Charlie Alpha Sierra Sierra County in northeast Texas. This is east of Highway 43, meaning right up against the Arkansas border. This doesn't include Highway 8, Highway 59. This does not include places like Linden, Douglasville, Atlanta, Queen City, Domino. Doesn't include Douglasville, Marietta, Avenger. This includes a small portion of eastern Cass County, southeast of the city of Atlanta, near the community of Bloomberg. This circulation, a little stronger here on this scan, even though the how hard it's raining mode does not necessarily show you a clear hook echo here. We definitely still have a pocket of strong, enhanced low-level rotation with this thunderstorm. In fact, you can see winds moving away from the radar, a little stronger now, about 40 miles an hour. Winds moving towards the radar at about 25. So we're about 65 to nearly 70 miles per hour shear now in the low levels compared to 60 a couple minutes ago. So that's upticked a little bit. Now, it is still not incredibly strong, but it is certainly discernible and worthy of a tornado warning, in my opinion, which is why the Weather Service in Shreveport has put a tornado warning out on this storm for eastern, southeastern portions of Cass County here in northeast Texas. I want to thank all those who are sending super chats and stars on our social media feeds. We don't, typically look at those in real time, but we appreciate it. And I hope those of you in the chat rooms express your appreciation to those folks who are willing and able to contribute to our severe weather coverage. We do it with no ads interrupting your experience during coverage. We do it because we like to, but we still have bills. So we appreciate it, but we'll continue on with our coverage as always. We definitely appreciate all of you being here. So it is 4:05 p.m. I'm Texas Storm Chaser's Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. A possible tornado now approaching County Road 4557 and Boogie Street here in southeastern Cass County. That's going to be with this thunderstorm moving northeast at about 45 to 50 miles an hour. It is cooking and booking. The possibility of a spin-up tornado with this thunderstorm as it moves towards the Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas state line. So we want folks southeast of Atlanta, east of Highway 43, to be in a safe place. That's going to be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and a site belt structure, or as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you're in a sturdy site built structure, we never recommend trailers, mobile homes, vehicles. It's just not a good place to be in tornadoes. We're definitely concerned about falling trees. Even if we don't have a tornado down, this thunderstorm could be putting out winds over 60 miles an hour. Now, the latest scan here, you can definitely see we are seeing that hook echo more evident again, coming up on County Road 4557 here in southeastern Cass County. This thunderstorm and its possible tornado is now about 5 miles east of Bivens and Highway 43, about 7 miles southeast of the city of Atlanta, coming up on County Road 4557 and Boogie Street. Thereafter, that is going to place this possible tornado about 2 to 3 miles southwest of Highway 77. This is now about 3 to 4 miles due west of the Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas state line. So we want you to be in a safe place. You saw that new how hard it's raining mode scan come in. Let's take a look at the which way the wind is blowing scan. And for what it's worth, looks like there's a tornado warning just south of Nashville, Tennessee. Go figure. With the possibility with this thunderstorm here in Cass County, Texas, up in northeast Texas, of producing a quick spin-up tornado. This is not a situation where I think we have a large destructive tornado that's going to be down for a long period of time. This is more likely than not going to be a brief spin-up tornado capable of knocking down trees, maybe some structural damage if it touches down. Even if it doesn't, the potential for strong winds on the backside of the storm here to be over 60 miles an hour, that can knock down and uproot trees, knock trees down onto buildings, roads, etc. And it turns out falling trees are actually pretty heavy, and when they hit things, they tend to go kaplooey on them. So we want you to be in a safe place. Even if we don't have a tornado here, there's still likely strong winds. So we want you to be in an interior room, lowest floor, center room. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. It goes without saying, we don't want you near windows. Just in case, this thing is knocking some trees down. We don't want you to be injured or hurt if a tree comes falling through your home. Or, God bless, if you end up driving along the road or something and it knocks a tree down on you. So we're going to be watching this storm carefully. It continues to move northeast. At this point, we have a couple of trailing showers behind it, just as a testament of how strong low-level wind shear is this afternoon. Even these little showers near Jefferson have hooks on them, indicative that they're rotating aloft. Now, it doesn't mean they're tornadic and capable of putting tornadoes down right now, but it just goes to show the amount of spin available in the atmosphere. So we're going to have to watch to see if we get more storms out here this afternoon and evening. And we might. I don't think we're going to have many storms out here today. I think it's going to be like yesterday, where a majority of this activity is up in Arkansas. But for us in Texas, it's certainly possible we have to deal with a few more tornado warnings this afternoon and evening before we transition back to dealing with 3 a.m. tennis ball size hail and 90-mile-an-hour winds back in parts of the Permian Basin, Big Country, Northwest Texas, and Texoma Friday morning, followed by a pretty serious severe weather threat on Friday afternoon and evening across Northeast Texas. Tomorrow, the potential for a tornado outbreak is evident in these same areas. We'll show you the severe weather outlook in a bit, but we'll get through this first. So again, this circulation now is northeast of County Road 4557 and Boogie Street. It is coming up on the Texas-Louisiana-Arkansas state line. This circulation, not as impressive looking now. This is a pretty small storm, but the possibility, if not likelihood, that it could produce a brief tornado, knock some trees down, and that in itself is dangerous. I hope you can tell by my tone and inflection, I don't think this is one of these, EF3, EF4 tornadoes that is going to level everything. That may be tomorrow, but it's not right now. We're going to be dealing with storms like this. We could have spin-up tornadoes, yes. If we get a really organized storm this afternoon and evening in Texas, yeah, it's possible they could put down a stronger tornado. We have a lot of ingredients in place for that today, tomorrow, and even Saturday across the eastern third of Texas. But right now, and I'm hoping I'm projecting the inflection correctly, this, if there is a tornado down, is probably one of these spin-ups that's brief. Still quite dangerous. If you get one of these coming down up your street, you're going to be in a world of problems if it knocks a tree down on your house, or, rips part of your roof off, or, breaks windows and you're standing by a window. We don't want you being hurt by any sort of flying twigs, flying debris, falling trees, stuff like that. But we have no indications of a tornado debris signature, which is good. We're looking about 2,000 feet. Well, I say that. No, that's a false signature there. That was spooky for a second. We're looking about 2,000 feet above the surface. So again, a tornado needs to be down for a little while and a certain intensity to loft debris a couple thousand feet in the air. So it's certainly possible we have a rotating wall cloud here, maybe a funnel cloud, maybe even a tornado kind of lifting and dancing its happy self along, knocking down trees every so often. But I don't think this is one of these situations where this storm is, got a big tornado down in progress for long periods of time at the moment. This storm is crossing over Highway 77 right now, about 7 miles southeast of the city of Atlanta, Texas, or maybe a mile or two west of the Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana state line. As it continues moving northeast at 45 miles an hour, it's going to be crossing into southwestern portions of Miller County, Arkansas. It's going to be crossing Interstate 49, southeast of Texarkana, Arkansas, down towards Doodridge. We don't want y'all being on I-49 right now, or Highway 71, southeast of Texarkana, all the way to near Kabla in Doodledge, north of the Louisiana-Arkansas state line. Yeah, I know I'm not saying the town's right, but you know what? I don't speak Klingon on a day-to-day basis anymore, so sorry. Kabla. So, with that being said, we are definitely going to keep an eye on this. This storm will be in Arkansas in just a few minutes, at which point we'll hand it off to our capable friends up in Arkansas. There are many great sources of weather information you can use in Arkansas to keep up to date on the storms up there. That is their speciality, and they have been busier than I hope I ever am. The last few days, they've had some very violent tornadoes over the last couple of weeks. They had them yesterday. They may have some today and tomorrow, unfortunately, as well. So, 4:12 p.m., we've got a severe storm showing less organized rotation now, about to move into southwestern Arkansas from Cass County, Texas. So, if you're west of County Road 4557 and Boogie Street, you're clear from this storm. There may be more later, but you're clear from this one. Let's take a look. I'm watching these little mini supercells, one east of Jefferson on Highway 49. They are rotating. So it's possible one of these, if they intensify, may attempt to go tornadic, but they're so small right now, I just don't think they are capable of doing it this second. Make sure my chats are open. 8 monitors are not enough. RIP. So, the good news is for us, we are about to hand this storm off into Arkansas and Miller County, Arkansas, where there are plenty of good folks who are able to cover that tornado warning effectively. So, if you're in Atlanta, Queen City, you're fine right now. If you're up in, Texarkana over to Mount Pleasant, y'all technically are probably pretty chilly right now. Looking at temperatures, you're about 60 with north winds, so you're north of the front. You might still have some hailers at some point, but we're watching the open warm sector where temperatures are in the 70s, 80s, dew point of 75 and 76 in Longview and Marshall. Good golly. Now that's one reason why we're concerned about tomorrow. All that moisture with flooding and the potential for many nasty supercells. Tomorrow has the makings of a bad day in northeast Texas with significant tornado problems, I'm afraid. We'll cover that in detail in upcoming forecast videos, but I think it's safe to say we're going to be doing live severe weather coverage tomorrow. And in fact, Jason, if you're watching, remind me to schedule that stream for tomorrow. We can go ahead and probably get ready to do that, because if we're not doing tornado coverage tomorrow, as great as that would be, something with the forecast has gone awry. So this storm in eastern Cass County, Texas, is moving into Miller County, Arkansas now. So Cass County, let's give until 4:20 p.m., and then we'll give you an all clear from this storm. A tornado watch remains in effect through 10 p.m. this evening, and the threat of severe weather is not over, but from this storm, it is. Thank you, Jason. So, let's go ahead and show you what we think is going to happen tonight into tomorrow, because we are going to be busy. We are expecting another round of rather rambunctious thunderstorms on Friday morning, and then tomorrow afternoon, we could have uh-ohs. So, I'm going to load the data here, and we'll press some buttons, and we'll go through it together. I'm going to get rid of that, suppress that, talk to myself because it's what I like to do. So we're going to load this from 6 p.m. this evening through, I'm just going to load it through early Saturday afternoon, honestly. But while this loads, you can see we've got some storms or rain in the Panhandle. You can see this model does have isolated storms in northeast Texas at 6 p.m. If any of them manage to do what this first storm did and, become sustained in a well-organized supercell, it will have the potential of producing severe weather, including a tornado. You can see this model does suggest we may have a couple more of those storms to deal with this evening in northeast Texas. Cass County, probably you, because apparently y'all picked up the unlucky straw. It's actually because we have a stationary cool front in this area, stationary front. In fact, you can almost see it lined up on here. That's where the stationary front is. That's a focal point for thunderstorm development. Storms south of that front, the potential for all modes of severe weather, including tornadoes. If it's north of that front, strong winds and hail, yes, but a much lower threat of tornadoes. So I'm just going to let this play, and you can see this actually keeps storms on that boundary through early Saturday morning. Oh, that's Saturday. Bad. Sorry. You can see storms still stay on this boundary through this evening. They kind of calm themselves down midnight Friday, but guess what? Rain moving into the Panhandle in West Texas, which is good. Y'all need rain. Y'all are probably getting snow on Saturday. Yeah, we'll talk more about that too. Storms start firing up around midnight to 1 a.m. Friday. Guess what? Hailers down the northern Edwards Plateau, Concho Valley, Big Country, Northwest Texas. Y'all dealt with it this morning. You're doing it again tonight. This morning, storms produced winds over 90 miles an hour in Eastland County, took out an airport in Eastland. We had wind damage up into Jack and Young County, so clearly they're capable of throwing out wind. Oh, and tennis ball size hail, because that's a great way to wake up at 2 to 5 a.m. Well, guess what? You can see this model does develop storms. Northwest Texas, the Big Country, the Concho Valley. Some of those storms are probably going to have hail larger than the size of golf balls and strong winds. If this model is right, most of DFW is going to miss out on the activity. Again, I almost called it fun. I storm chased too long. 15 years is a long time. But DFW, you may luck out again and not have to deal with this tonight, besides some scattered showers and storms. Worst off to your west in Northwest Texas, the Big Country, the Concho Valley. As we continue through Friday morning, notice how this model starts clearing skies out in Northeast Texas. That's not good. We don't need the extra sunshine. The atmosphere is already going to be unstable. We have dew points in the mid-70s. It's July. You might as well be on a beach in Galveston or down in Panama City, Florida, because that's how humid it's going to be. And that is a very unstable air mass, even with cloud cover. So as we go into Friday afternoon, unfortunately, you can see we have scattered severe storms erupt across parts of, well, East Texas and Northeast Texas by mid-afternoon. This is in an environment capable of producing significant severe weather. That includes the potential for, unfortunately, not only tornadoes, but EF2 to EF3 plus tornadoes. Strong tornadoes, the kind of tornado that can actually really be a threat to life and property. Hail. I mean, look, if we get supercells that are sustained, we're going to have softball-sized hail, no problem. That's how unstable it is tomorrow in Northeast Texas and even into parts of East Texas, and damaging winds over 75 miles an hour. Unfortunately, you can see, if this is right, we're going to be quite busy tomorrow afternoon and evening across East Texas, Northeast Texas with discrete supercells. Back along the cool front, that's stationary, you can see this thing fires up hailers. These would be more of a hail threat in Central Texas, but still, some really big hail. Could be baseball-sized hail. You could see that at 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Guess what? Storms are still going. Into early Saturday morning, we start to weaken some, but oh look, more heavy rain, more storms with large hail and damaging winds. Northwest Texas, the Big Country, down to the Concho Valley, flying east into North Texas. It is going to be a rowdy Saturday morning here in the DFW Metroplex. Storms rolling in from the west with frequent cloud-to-ground lightning, heavy rain, hail potential. Whoops. Did not load all that data. It's got to load some more data, but as it does so, I'll just let this loop play and show you. Guess what? It's going to rain. It's going to storm. We're going to have multiple rounds over the next few days. So, isolated severe storms in Northeast Texas this afternoon and evening. Any of those that get going have the potential to go tornadic. Tomorrow, we expect more tornadic supercells. East Texas, Northeast Texas after 1 p.m. through evening. Storms could continue into the late evening with a hail and wind threat. Storms Friday morning, Big Country, Concho Valley, Permian Basin, Northwest Texas, Texoma, with some of those being hailers with strong wind. And then Saturday morning, big old complex of storms moves from west to east across the western half of the state. A lot of rain, a lot of wind, some hail. And then Saturday afternoon, the potential for tornadic supercells. The Golden Triangle, the Piney Woods of East Texas, the Toledo Bend Reservoir, East Texas, maybe even parts of Southeast Texas with a threat of very large hail, damaging winds, and the possibility of a few tornadoes. So we are now, if I am correctly interpreting this, we'll go back to the statewide view. I'll turn on the radar. I'll even pop on satellite so you can see what's going on. You can see most of the state is quiet this afternoon. The one storm we had evolve in parts of Harrison, Marion, and Cass counties has now moved northeast into Miller County, Arkansas. So the threat of a tornado in Texas has currently ended, but a tornado watch remains in effect until 10 p.m. this evening. So if you're watching us on Facebook, you want to keep up to date with what's going on, head over to TexasStormChasers.com. We've got interactive weather radar, live severe weather coverage when necessary, and more. And we also have a free mobile app. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers, where you download apps for your device, and you can watch our coverage there, along with a 24/7, weather live stream, which I'm going to go out to the website right now. So, plan of attack is, if we have new tornado warnings, we will be back with new streams with that. Otherwise, those of you on YouTube, we're going to send you over to our 24/7 live stream, where we'll continue to monitor the situation and provide updates as needed. Thanks for tuning in. You'll be seeing a lot more of us here over the next few days as we gear up for what appears to be a very busy Friday and Saturday, with the potential for tornadoes, damaging winds, hail, and flooding.